it's Joy. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I am here with a fun card that is inspired by a serape. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So to achieve that look, I am using alcohol inks and on a felt pad on my square blending tool. So I am using the colors Crimson, Dandelion, Indigo, and Botanical. And so what I do is I put the blending solution on to the felt applicator, and then I go in and I put each of the individual colors and I leave a little bit of white space in between each color. That way I get the serape effect. So I start out by going diagonal kind of towards the center of the card, and then I go back over that one more time just to get a little bit more vibrancy, and then I move my blender down leaving a little bit of white space and I apply it again, and then I move to the top of the panel and do that. So I lay that to the side to let it dry, and in case you're wondering, that is on Yupo paper. That's what I like to blend my alcohol inks on. So in the meantime, I am coloring the floral image from the Spicy Like That digital stamp set. This stamp set is everything Cinco de Mayo. It's got a margarita. It's got some dancing chili peppers. It has the florals. It's got a couple other things. It's jam-packed, and I think it's a great value for the amount of stuff that you get. So I chose the floral, and I go in with my greenery and color those using the colors YG01 followed by 6-7 for my shadows. Then I blend that with a 17. And I go in with a 03 and do a wash over that. That is my typical foliage blend for Copic markers. I like the YGs better than the Gs for some reason. I think that they blend. And you'll notice that the 6-7 and the 1-7 is a huge jump in saturation, so you really need to work that marker back and forth over the line so that you don't have that harsh line. You kind of wash it out. The different alcohol contents of each marker kind of push the colors around, and then that 03, like I said, if you go in there and you just really just wash that over, it takes the vibrancy of the 01 down, but it blends that 17 and that 67 together, in my opinion, pretty seamlessly. But you do have to work for it because it's not a natural blend, because I think the 6-7 has a little bit of a blue tint to it. So you just have to work that in. But it is my go-to favorite blend. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but anyway. Since this is a digital image, I printed that with a laser printer onto Hammermill cardstock, which is my paper of choice for Copic coloring. And I filled that to be like the majority of a 3.5 by 4 3/4 panel. And I also printed the Happy Cinco de Mayo on the same paper. Alright, so then I go into my yellows. So I started out with a Y13 being my lightest color, and I left a slight border around the outer edge, just so that I would have some bounce back lighting. I tend to find that to be the easiest way to get a natural highlight, and if you lose it, you can always go back in with a gel pen, which I do later. So you'll see that I'm going in, I think this is the Y26, and I am just putting that in at the base of the flower. Now you'll notice that that's more of a golden brown, so I do go back in and I blend that out, but I like a deep saturation, so that is why I am going with that. And then you'll see that where the little buds are, I kind of outline like where the leaves would be a shadow. Then I go in with my Y15 and I blend that Y26. Almost to the point that I kind of wash it out, and you'll see that I kind of go back and forth and blend again. Followed by the Y15, I go back in with the Y13. And eventually I will come back in with a Y28 and just do small hints of the color. Because the Y28 is truly a brown color, and I want this to be a happy, vibrant flower for Cinco de Mayo. So I didn't want a lot of scary darks in there, like Courtney Creeber always says, scary darks. But I do think that they are necessary. So once I'm done with the yellows, I'm not 100% happy with my greens. I feel like I need a little bit more shadow or the scary dark. So I go back in with the YG17 and the 67. And then I finally go in and put some highlights into my flowers along the tips. And then at the base of the flowers, I put in some dots just to add a little bit of interest to keep the eye moving. So I do use a Gina Murray Designs. I think it's the cross stitch rectangles to die cut my sentiment, and I also use my scan and cut to fussy cut my flowers. I come in with Catherine Puller inks in the color of Suede Shoes, and I just kind of blend some ink around the border of this sentiment just so that it'll pop from my background a little bit. That's just to kind of draw your eye in and bring attention to it. It's a look that I like. You could use any color that you wanted, but it coordinates well with my background. And then I use a color that's pretty close to the Suede Shoes, another royal blue, and I mat my serape background. And then I put that on a top folding A2 card base, and I put that down with some Barely Art glue. I use 120 pound cardstock from Accent Opaque. I think it's by far a superior cardstock for card bases, and I highly recommend it if you want to give it a try. So next, it's time to bring in the sentiment, and I, being true to myself, decide to add dimension, and I pop that up on some foam squares. This is not a necessary step, but with it being on the Yupo paper, I find that foam squares are tackier, have a higher amount of adhesive, so that they stick better to Yupo because it's like a plastic-ish paper. So that's what I decided to do, and it works for me. I also put a couple of foam squares on my flowers, and then the parts that are going to overlap the sentiment, I just glue down with wet glue so that they're all the same level. That way there's a little bit of cohesion with my design. It would probably be helpful, you're probably laughing that my glasses are on top of my head in there. I would probably be able to see much better if I would keep my glasses on my eyeballs, but whatever. So if you've liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell. That helps my channel grow. I would really appreciate that. And then I do come in with some crown jewels from Maker Forte just to add some embellishment. So I do encourage you to head on over to the Joy Clair Designs blog and Facebook page, Instagram, to see what the other designers have come up with. There's been quite a few of us that have done Cinco de Mayo cards, and of course I will be over on the Joy Clair Designs blog as well. So I really appreciate you sticking out the video with me, and until next time, keep crafting. Take care. Bye-bye.